Alright folks, brace yourselves, because what you're about to watch starts small, but explodes into one of the most dramatic misuse of authority encounters caught on camera this year. A simple hobby photographer taking pictures of police vans turns into a full-blown confrontation involving 3 officers, rising tension, shifting stories, and finally, the nuclear option. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act. But here's the twist. There's no crime, no threat, and not even suspicion explained. So why did these officers push so hard? Why does a routine moment escalate into a rights-crushing stop? Stick around, because this one raises serious questions about policing, accountability, and whether filming public property now counts as terrorism.
From afar, you've spent specific time looking around the vehicle, the front, and specifically in the cab of the vehicle, and that to me...
I've only got a few pictures, I'm just getting the right ones, I'm not...
Videos of the whole thing, I've been watching you as I've come downstairs.
Yeah, it's just a video, and there's YouTube as well.
But why?
Why not? There's no reason why not, is there?
Why specific interest in that vehicle?
It's not just that one, I just said I'm going to go and get the others, all the other marked vehicles and pictures and stuff.
Okay, but to us, do you see why that might be of a concern? That someone's taking specific note about vehicles and police transportation? I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned about your actions and your behaviour. Because you're very, like I say, you're very sort of defensive and very sort of...
I've got 3 police people stood here. 1, 2, 3, right, well... Yeah, that's what I say, just pictures for Flickr.
Right, so can you give a colleague your details then? So it protects you at the end of the day, doesn't it? Because if anything ever does come of it, or we've got any concerns, we can say...
Nothing's going to come of it, I'm not doing it, I'm just taking some
pictures. But you also need to understand that people don't always tell the police the truth, yeah? Especially if they have something to hide or something they don't want to know about. So if that's not the case, then by all means help us to help you rectify that. Yeah, so you're saying you've done nothing wrong, and I'm not saying that you have, I'm just asking you the questions of what you're actually doing.
This is the first moment where the officers reveal their mindset. They've already admitted they see no crime, yet the tone becomes accusatory purely because Matthew appears edgy. But think about this. Wouldn't anyone feel uneasy surrounded by 3 uniformed officers demanding personal information? Nervousness isn't suspicion. It's a normal human response. This is where policing shifts from reasonable questioning to intimidation wrapped in polite phrasing. And the question for viewers is, does nervousness justify escalating authority? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but I know, but I just don't want my details putting in the system. There's no one...
This is us making a note so we know who you are. We need to know who people are on a daily basis, don't we?
Yeah, but I don't want to be on the system though, as a...
You're not going to go...
Whatever.
It's just, you're just a person. You take details every single day of the week. That's our job.
Yeah, if they're like under suspicion of up to no good...
What about that? You need to understand that you're supposed to train people by asking these questions. Yeah? You're not really giving us an answer.
I have done. I'll give you an answer straight away.
Well, the details so we can verify it all. That's all we're asking.
I've told you what I'm doing though.
Right, but I'm not happy with what you're saying, Matthew.
Great.
I'll be honest.
So I have to give them the details then?
I'm asking you.
Here's where logic cracks apart. The officer argues they need Matthew's details for notes, not an investigation. But legally, in the UK, details can only be required with valid suspicion of an offense. Not because an officer wants to know who you are today. This is a subtle but dangerous shift, turning voluntary information into something implied to be mandatory. Viewers, pay attention to how often phrases like, "help us help you," are used to pressure compliance. It's compliance psychology disguised as conversation.
1639, 2408.
And your names?
No, you don't have my name, not under counter-terrorism.
I don't think so. I'll be investigating this if you do not tell me your name.
Counter-terrorism, you only need a collar number.
Collar number? I'm not a terrorist though, I'm taking pictures of the police vehicles.
It's under terrorism legislation.
Regards to the search, what we've explained, okay, your furtive nature.
So your PC 1639 and your name is please.
No.
You need to state your name.
No, don't.
You do need to state your name.
It's not an argument, we don't need to, and you're not getting it. You're 1639.
So you're all...
This moment is huge. The officer says, "if you've done nothing wrong," and immediately threatens a Section 43 terrorism search. That's an extraordinary jump. Section 43 requires reasonable suspicion of involvement in terrorism, not photography of police bands, not nervousness, not refusing voluntary info. This is an example of legal overreach that civil rights groups warn about constantly. When extraordinary powers become routine tools, accountability disappears. Ask yourself, does anything about Matthew's behavior fit terrorism criteria? Because legally, it doesn't.
I'm allowed
If you're
to.
going to be doing that, you've got to expect that we are going to ask questions as to why you didn't. So we need to keep the public
Yeah,
safe.
I understand that. You've got to ask questions as to why I'm doing it.
Safe. That's what we do. We serve the public and we keep them safe.
What's your current address, Matthew?
You can pause that now. You're going to give that, aren't you?
Quite happy.
All right, well, I'd rather not give that then.
Right, okay. That's with your keys, isn't it?
So I can ask you, Matthew, to not to do this anymore.
I'm allowed to do it. You've searched me. You've unlawfully searched me. It has been an... Well, we'll find out about that.
Video, you've been nice as pie and understanding. As soon as you're back on your video, you're starting to be...
Because I was detained. Because I was detained.
Notice the double standard unfolding. The auditor politely asks for their names, a completely lawful request. Under PACE and basic transparency expectations, officers must identify themselves. Yet suddenly, the same officers demanding his details refuse to share theirs. This is exactly where public confidence erodes. Policing isn't just about enforcing law. It's about modeling accountability. When officers with legal power refuse transparency, it shows they know the stop isn't justified, and they're shielding themselves from future complaints.
He's arguing my case. I don't mean to come across as cheeky, but...
You're give evidence of you, aren't you? Because it's not
No, I will start it from the very start till when you arrested me or detained me.
You're going to publicise Matthew. All I'm saying is the reason why we stopped him smoking today is an issue of public safety. So that's all you need
Right,
to understand.
well, I will state... No, I will state it's unlawful, and I think you'll find out very soon that it was. All three of you have acted unlawful, and I'm going to continue to film all the vehicles. Am I allowed to do that, or is that against the law? Is it against the law to do that?
By now, the emotional tone has fully shifted. Matthew stays calm, consistent, and logical, while the officers bounce between safety concerns, personal feelings, and subjective discomfort. One even says she's not happy with his answer. But policing isn't based on happiness. It's based on law. This clash exposes the real issue. The officers aren't following legal thresholds. They're following intuition, emotion, and frustration. And when authority is driven by feelings instead of evidence, lawful citizens end up treated like suspects.